And we are back for an unprecedented 10th episode. This is the Talking Doves podcast. This is Mr. Ryan Riley, and I'm with Mr. Peyton Arthur. Mr. Peyton Arthur, can you say hello?
Hello.
All right. I like keeping straight to the vest, Mr. Arthur. I asked for a hello, and you gave me one. I like that. It's, what we asked the kids to do. I asked for something and you just gave me exactly what I needed. So, Mr. Arthur, in this opener, we'd like to talk a little bit about who we are, or that's what we were doing, but I kind of want to focus on the kids. I want to hear what they were talking about when they had to do our assignment last Friday on our podcast.
All right.
So I have... one of the questions that we asked them was, what was their favorite part of the week's podcast? And Mr. Arthur, I'm just trying to get back in the mindset of episode 9. That's just a crazy amount of hours ago. Did you say something about blah, 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 King Arthur? Did you say something from King Arthur?
No.
I'm thinking the kids might be starting to call you King Arthur.
Yeah, that's been a thing. I would hope they'd appreciate what I have to say more than blah, 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 but whatever works.
Well, thankfully, there was 2 times that King Arthur was referenced. The other one was, success is a result of hard work. Did you say that, Mr. Arthur?
Yeah, that was my quote from last week.
Okay. All right. Okay. So starting to connect some dots. Someone said that they like the squeaky shoes because we were talking about basketball last week.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody quoted me when we were talking about don't try to piggyback because sometimes you fall in the mud.
Yep.
I stick by that. And a couple of the kids agreed that I've never told a dumb joke. So
I saw a lot of that last week.
I never know what kids are going to pick up on when we ask them these questions. But whatever. So, Mr. Arthur, I think that is enough feedback. Do you have anything you want to say about last week's episode?
I hope we can match it.
Ooh, I like that. Bring that same energy. All right. So, let's go on to the first real segment. Really? Nothing? Okay.
I was waiting on you.
So, I don't know, Mr. Arthur, when I'm recording this, it pops up. Every time we finish the segment, it pops up and it says, okay, thanks. And that's just a little passive-aggressive thing that I don't need. I don't need that more.
I was just reading that while ago.
Yeah. It's like, all right, thanks, whatever. Don't say, okay, thanks. That's bad vibes. Anyway, let's get into where is this? This is the week that was. This is everything that happened this week. But if we follow our show notes, Mr. Arthur, we can't cover everything that happened this week.
This week was incredibly busy. It was also incredibly fun, but yeah, I'm with you. I don't think we can cover it all.
I have been quoted several times as saying, something is bananas. BANANAS. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And there were parts of this week that was bananas. But all good bananas. Good bananas are the best. And that's what parts of this week was, Mr. Arthur.
Yeah. It was definitely interesting, I'll put it that way.
So I'm trying to think, Mr. Arthur, a long time ago, in what some people call Monday. What did Monday look like? Do you remember?
I don't. I do remember that we began to design our display. Ideas were floating around and begin to become. Lord, I'm losing my mind. ideas became a reality. I'll get it out in a minute. But I don't remember Monday at all. I'm not going to lie to you.
Ideas became reality. Huh. I like that. Here's the thing, Mr. Arthur. I'm gonna be really honest with you. That's the only way to be, right?
Yeah, the truth will set you free.
So, last week, I think it was, I guess it was this week. I guess it was Sunday. I woke up and one of our virtual students had gave me the recommendation it might have been a month ago at this point. They said that I should start writing down things that happen every day, which is roughly what I do. But, I have those little 3-inch notebooks.
Mm-hmm.
And this was going to be the week, Mr. Arthur, that I was going to record everything that happened. And I'm happy to say that I got all the way through Monday. And then I forgot about it. And at this moment in time, I have lost it. I don't know where that notebook is.
Did you fill up the whole notebook? Because I'm sure Monday was eventful.
I tried to, I did that during the summer, just logging what it was like to be an ag teacher. And most of the time, our summer was crazy, but a day was like 1 page in that notebook.
Yeah.
Monday was 2 pages, Mr. Arthur.
Yeah, I believe it.
So I don't want to focus on things that we can't remember, but just highlights of the week. We were able to, shout out to last Friday. Our awesome officer team cut out 26 digits.
Mm-hmm.
That was something that me and you thought we were going to have to do on Saturday, and we didn't have to do that.
Thank you, Jesus.
And we did spend some of our Saturday, cleaning from the delightful remnants of woodworking that our officer team created. But it was so awesome to just have that work done, and because the officer team is just pushing through and working hard. That was special.
Mm-hmm.
But we go into Saturday and Sunday, and we were buying things and picking up things that we were going to need for the display. And Monday, I believe we might have had to pick up more things. I don't know. The week was really categorized for me by kids that like to work hard and kids that like to show off their artistic flair.
Yeah, and we had a ton of that going on in the ag department this week.
I did find out that we have too many perfectionists. And very driven perfectionists. Sometimes I'm a perfectionist on some things, but I'm not really driven behind it.
Right.
And, our students were very pushing in a very positive, driven direction. But we did a 2 4-foot by 8-foot signs for the FFA display.
Mm-hmm.
That had a modified couple of lines of the alma mater.
Right.
I did have an idea for this episode, Mr. Arthur. We were going to start the episode by singing the alma mater. But I don't think anybody wants to hear that.
Yeah, I agree.
We're a little hoarse. We're a little crazy, and I don't think that would have came out very well. But that, I thought that came out really well. That purple background, I thought it looked really good. And what me and you've talked about throughout this week is we kind of came up with rough ideas, and the kids came up with rough ideas, and then they took our ideas, made them better, and they worked and worked and worked. And I think we had kind of a production, but the kids were doing almost everything on it.
They did. They worked so hard this weekend. We've talked about it. If it wouldn't have been for them, nowhere near the amount of stuff would have gotten done. So kudos to them.
Do you think, Mr. Arthur, that what we're preaching about pride and loving your community and your school. You think that's starting to sink in?
I hope so. I was talking to Dr. Griffin this afternoon about, the reason that we put so much time and effort into our decorations and floats and things this week was because we want to see school pride and school spirit at an all-time high. And we were hoping that would be infectious. If we did it, that it would spread. And, I think she appreciated that, but I hope our kids appreciate that.
I want, anytime that you see red and white, I want you to think Winfield High School, Winfield Senior High School. I want you to think that, and I want you to swell with pride when that happens. We have a great school, and the more you put back into the school, the better it is. When we try to make these things a success, everybody's a winner.
Right.
So, we did the 2 4-foot by 8-foot signs, Mr. Arthur. We did a 3-foot by 4-foot sign, or 2 of those. We had a cauldron, Mr. Arthur. How did the cauldron go?
It didn't go as well as we needed it to go. I think was kind of our motto for today with the wind. But I think the witches and warlocks we had dancing around the cauldron had fun playing with the dry ice, but it was supposed to obviously smoke and look like we were brewing a panther, but the wind was kicking today. I think we were about 15, 20 mile an hour winds. And so I think everything was flying, including the fog off of our cauldron. So it didn't really look like it was supposed to, but we had fun with it. And hopefully Saturday we can get back out and do some trick-or-treating there with that cauldron and some more dry ice, and maybe it'll look a little bit cooler on Saturday night.
At least now, Mr. Arthur, I've been in the same space with dry ice, because I don't know if I told you that I've never seen dry ice up close.
Yeah.
And wow, is that stuff cold? It's scary to be so cold that you can burn something.
Yeah.
But that liquid, is it liquid nitrogen? Is that right?
I think it's liquid nitrogen. I mean, it's frozen nitrogen.
You're right. Yeah. So, wow. And we had the English department with Dr. Cole really appreciating the callbacks to Macbeth, and it was a good time for sure. And Mr. Arthur, before we move on from that, I just want to say, some kids were asking about the display and who is going to be in the display. I want to be on the record and saying we had no control over, or we didn't have any discretion over what happened and how the actors and actresses were working.
No, it came to our attention a couple of days ago that we potentially had a what do you call them, a coven of witches that were going to be appearing in our display. It was not anything planned, not anybody we handpicked for sure, but I thought it looked good, and the principals and Mr. Bartlett both commented on how good it looked to have students actually involved in the display. So I think maybe that set a tone for next year.
I think so. I hope so. And, again, that's what we're really going for is, just promote pride, promote school, the love of our school. I think we really did that. So our week ended. It's not ended yet, but at the point where we're at right now is we have finished the bonfire.
Yeah.
I think the bonfire is just a good open air pep rally, Mr. Arthur.
Mm-hmm.
With the natural light of fire, which was a welcome. Would reprise be the right word? A welcome. Let me see. Reprise. Is this what I'm going for? No, that's a repeat in music. But anyway, it was a welcome place of warmth and comfort that we needed after a day in the wind.
Would it be a welcome reprieve from the cold?
Reprieve. Thank you. Yes, reprieve. Make sure. Reprieve. No, Well, okay,
No.
yes, a cancellation of a punishment. Yes, yes, it was a cancellation or a postponement of wind burned to my face. Yes,
Yes.
yes. So yes, a thankful reprieve. Yes. So that was your vocab segment for the week. Somehow we always fill that spot, Mr. Arthur.
Well, before we finish with our vocab segment for the week,
Okay.
we have one vocab question that we'll end with this segment.
Okay.
Well, not a vocab, but whatever. Maybe you'll learn something. Mr. Riley, do you know which fruit-bearing trees are evergreens?
Fruit-bearing trees, like edible fruit, like
Yeah.
um.
It's a group of, it's not one specific.
Oh, it's a group of them.
Yeah.
I can't think off the top of my head, Mr. Arthur.
It's citrus.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, which fruit-bearing trees are evergreens? And it is citrus.
Gotcha. It's almost like you should take note of that.
Yeah, I think you should.
So, Mr. Arthur, I'm so excited and sad. We're coming into the twilight hours of homecoming week. But that means that tomorrow we get to see the presentation of court again. We get to see the Big Red win in their game against Bunky. And, I know all our kids are getting excited for the dance and those kinds of things. So, do you have anything else from our week, Mr. Arthur?
I don't think so.
All right, let's go on to the next segment.
I don't have anything cute to say, but I was just thinking about that Backstreet Boys song.
Everybody? Or the other one?
Is that the one you've been playing all week? Backstreet Back or whatever?
Yeah. Yeah, Mr. Arthur, that's it.
Who sings it?
Who sings?
It's not the Backstreet Boys?
Yeah, it's
That's what I
Backstreet.
thought.
Okay, but it's Backstreet's Back, and I thought you were really asking who sang it.
I started second guessing myself. I thought, because obviously me and song lyrics have not gotten along this week, so I wasn't sure.
Yeah, we're not even going to comment on the lyric blunder of the week. Gosh. Anyway, back on track. Welcome to the next segment. This is When Is This? FFA news. This week, mostly working at the local or the chapter level. Mr. Arthur, I don't really want to add anything that's not on the list. I want to keep it kind of succinct. And it's really the same list from last week.
Yeah. We going to take Operation Christmas Child donations for just a few more days. We kind of wanted those here today. Didn't get as many as we needed. And so I think the junior leader packing party is going to be in about a week or so. And so if you have those donations, want to get those in, we'll gladly take those until then.
The junior leader meeting, is that going to be moved to a week from Tuesday?
I think it's the 13th. Is that what we said? No, I'm sorry.
The 10th?
The 10th.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because it should be the 3rd, but
right.
Election day. Okay. So, I did hear a couple of the officers today, Mr. Arthur, they're trying to wind down homecoming and all those kinds of things. So, officers were saying that, by Monday or Tuesday, they're hoping to have some more boxes from them personally.
Right.
And I did also hear there were some issues, and some kids don't really understand the whole, do I have to have a shoebox?
Right.
Kind of thing. And so would you like to expand on that just real quick?
Yeah, so Of course, Operation Christmas Child started with packing old shoe boxes, Nikes, and that kind of thing. You take your box and fill it up, and it was just a good size. Samaritan's Purse actually provides us with shoe boxes now. So if you have donations that you would like to give, don't feel like you have to have a box to bring those. We'll more than happily take whatever donation you have, and then we will pack it in a box for you.
I didn't say this to them. I did say, we could find boxes for sure, and we go to church with several people that could help us out with that. But if you put it in a gallon Ziploc bag, we will find a place for it.
Yeah, we'll take it.
So, and in addition to that, today was the technical last day for Thanksgiving sales. That was, I think, Mr. Arthur, we're a little bit behind last year, but
yeah, just a little bit. Yeah.
But considering everything that in times such as these, I think we're doing pretty good.
I agree. I think we are, and we do want to let you know that if you did not get those orders in, please bring them on Monday, because we have to log all of that into the computer the beginning of next week and get that order in. So really need you guys to bring that in. If you don't have it to us by Monday, you're going to have to return all of that money to those people, which would be absolutely embarrassing in my opinion. But
I think it'd definitely be embarrassing. I hate asking people to buy from me anyway, and then I have to go and tell them that, hey, glad you tried to help, but here's your money back.
Right.
I think if you are out there and you're going, oh no, I didn't realize it was the 29th. I thought it was, November 2nd or whatever. If you could just go ahead and send us an email.
Yes.
Leave us a comment on an assignment or whatever. Send us some kind of communication so that we will be anticipating that, so we can make sure to follow up with you.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'd be very helpful. That, and in addition to that, today was also the last day for FFA dues, last day for 4-H dues, and on our side, on the advisor side of things, the end of October, beginning of November is such a crazy time, Mr. Arthur, and we do have a couple of more days of leeway with these things, but the thing is, there's so many deadlines that we have close together.
Yeah.
That we have to have those where we have enough time to act on these deadlines. But if you are struggling with getting your FFA dues or your 4-H dues, which are also due today, please reach out to me and Mr. Arthur. We do have people in the community that are more than willing to help us with students that might be missing a couple of dollars from being able to pay their dues or whatever. But we can't do that on our side. You have to make a step and ask us to, hey, I need help with this kind of thing. And if you weren't able to, but you sold, I don't remember, Mr. Arthur, was it 40 items got your dues paid?
I don't want to lie off the top of my head. I was thinking it was somewhere between 30 and 40 items, but I like I said, I don't want to.
Right. And I really think it was less than 40, but I know if you sold 40, they would definitely be paid for.
Right. And you still have Christmas to
still have Christmas. Yes. And I don't know, Mr. Arthur, if they want to go ahead and pre-buy strawberry flats, we might be able to set something. Oh man, but that's really our major news. We are working with our committees, trying to get some more events for end of November, beginning of December, so our members can have a great time being an FFA member. So still be on the lookout for those dates, and hopefully we'll know something by next week or so.
Yeah. The only other thing I want to add, Mr. Riley, is that I mentioned a little bit earlier, Saturday night from about 6 to 8 o'clock, We'll be set up in front of the baseball field, passing out candy, doing trick or treating. So if you have any younger brothers or sisters and would like to bring them out and meet the ag teachers and get some candy, we would love to see you.
Mr. Arthur, could we give those students some bonus points or something?
Absolutely.
So you're telling me if I convince my mom to drive me and my little siblings to the baseball field from 6 to 8 on Saturday, I get candy and bonus points?
That's it.
Wow, that all sounds almost too good to be true, but it's not. So, Mr. Arthur, do you have anything else?
Nope, I don't think so.
Well, again, I'm in talks with our merchandise people, and so hopefully next week I'll have more information. Those talks have kind of stalled, but maybe I can spark a fire under them next week, and we'll have concrete dates for that. But if Mr. Arthur is good, I think we are going on to the next segment. Mr. Arthur?
Hello. It's me.
I've been wondering. Anyway, Mr. Arthur, we are to one of my favorite segments.
Mm-hmm.
We are to Why Is This? Why Is This is where you and I talk about some quotes that help define us and help. We use this as a teaching moment where we can teach kids about leadership through quotes that really speak to us.
Yeah.
So we have not talked about this. Mr. Arthur, do you want to go first or second?
I'm going to go second since we've talked about the last part. I'll go in the middle.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That sounds good. So I was inspired this week, Mr. Arthur. I got an email from one of our students, and he was asking me about something, and it triggered me, and I wanted to look for a certain type of poem, and I found a poem that was just exactly what I needed, exactly what I was looking for. I love it when we use some of that digital literacy to be able to find things that really just hit everything that we're looking for.
I think it's kind of crazy you went with poetry because I did too.
Really?
Yeah.
Mr. Arthur, we hang out together too much.
And I'm hoping it's not the same one.
Well, if you stole my poem, I'm going to be so mad, but good thing I'm going first.
Yeah.
So I will say, Mr. Arthur, this has about it's like a four lines of a poem. Is that a stanza?
Yes.
Okay. This has about 15 stanzas.
Okay. No, it's not the same one.
And I'm definitely not going to read those 15 stanzas. I think I'm going to go to this well a couple of times. I don't know if it's going to be back-to-back shows, but there's a lot of good here, and I know if I read this whole thing, no one would care. So I'm going to break it apart. And I'm not going to talk about what the student was asking, but it made me think about student athletes. And it made me think about kind of how, Mr. Arthur, you and I are kind of, the way we treat our program is almost like it's a sport.
Mm-hmm.
And we're needing good student athletes for our things.
Right.
And the things that go with being a student athlete is, like those time management skills, that responsibility of school comes first, and I'm sure you had teachers in high school that really preached it's a student athlete. It's student first, athlete second. And I just, I searched for student athlete poems, and I came up with this one that is by Miss Corey Ortiz, who was a student athlete at the University of Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I'm not a big UA fan, but I thought her words were very, very nice. And I'm gonna read two stanzas. I said just one, but she said, "I learned that the hog is special and the logo never comes off. I've learned that 6 a.m. workouts can be a little rough." I'm thinking about, you know, this is homecoming. We're preaching pride, and the tiger is special. That logo of the school, the insignia, it never fades. It's always a part of you. And, you know, whether it be 6 a.m. workouts, whether it be 6 p.m. sessions where we're painting a banner for homecoming, you know, all those things can be rough, but you are working for a common goal. And am I making sense tonight, Mr. Arthur?
Yeah.
Okay. And the next line is just, "I learned that balancing school, grades, and a social life can be a little hectic. But for a college student athlete, this routine is embraced and accepted."
Mm-hmm.
And you know, what we have been preaching is that it takes time, but the time is worth.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, balancing school and grades and social life. I mean, you've had conversations with almost all the officers, and hopefully we can pick up those interviews next week, Mr. Arthur. That we had to kind of we had to table for homecoming week, but, you know, we get what we're trying to do is hectic.
Yeah.
You know, we get that we're asking a lot, but, you know, with routine, with tradition, with all these things, it's very doable, you know. And I don't know, Mr. Arthur. I'm kind of scattered tonight, but this poem really spoke to me. I really enjoyed it, and to hear it coming from somebody that was experiencing it at that time, I think it was pretty special.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's a lot deeper than my quote tonight, I think. But that was, I love it, because Winfield's special. You know, we didn't go to school here, we didn't graduate from here, but we've adopted this culture, and it's definitely something that's going to stick with us for a long time. All right, so I was also inspired this week. And then I'm gonna go ahead and read my quote, and then I'll talk about why it inspired me so much. One thought April with the sure suta, the drought of March had pierced to the ruta. You know, I was thinking about, that was a joke, by the way. Dr. Cole was doing Canterbury Tales, and if I hear that one more time, Mr. Riley, I may scream. I am so sick of hearing kids walking up and down the hallway reading the prologue of Chaucer. It is driving me nuts. But anyway, so if any of you Act 3-4s are listening to this, maybe you'll get a kick out of that. All right, my next quote, my real quote, is from John Ruskin. And I have absolutely no idea who John Ruskin is. But it kind of lines up, Mr. Riley, with what you were going for, I think. He says, quality is never an accident. It is always the result of intelligent effort. And this week, as we work tirelessly, our students work tirelessly and diligently, we produced quality work. Everything that we did, I thought we put out this week was quality. It turned our hair gray, made us pull our hair out, but it was quality work. And it was noticed. I think it's going to be noticed tomorrow as the game comes through. And, you know, alumni are on campus for reunions and that kind of thing. But we're proud of this place. And I think, as we talked about earlier, our students are also proud. And I think they're proud of the work that they got to do this week.
I loved it because of that. You know, I loved, you know, as we said earlier, it was so much of their effort. it wouldn't mean near as much as it did if me and you just got out there and did all of that.
Right.
So I think that's a great way to sum up all of it.
And then I want to end with a question, Mr. Riley. Last one that I'll ask this for this podcast, but you know the answer to this. But what is the scientific name for beef?
Are you wanting me to answer?
Yeah.
That'd be for beef.
Cattle, beef, cattle, yeah.
Bovine, huh?
Bovine. That is your second question. Bovine. Bovine.
Really close to one of Mr. Vine's grandkids. Really close. Not quite.
Yeah.
It's not the steakhouse in Ruston. It's just very simply Bovine. So, all right, Mr. Arthur, are you done?
I'm done.
All right, let's go into the last segment. Is that right? The last segment?
Last segment.
Here we go.
What is it?
Hey, that's the segment. I like it. What is this? We should just get a recording and play that every time we get into the last segment, Mr. Arthur. So, me and Mr. Arthur have discussed, for the sake of brevity, and if you don't know what brevity means, you can Google that.
Is that what makes you stay to the close?
No, it's a new kind of tea.
Oh.
Yeah. So, anyway, me and Mr. Arthur have decided that this week, for the sake of brevity and gravity and Lipton, we are going to. I'm going to have a quiz, and that's going to be all for this week's show.
Yeah.
Is that still okay, Mr. Arthur?
Yeah.
Okay, so Mr. Arthur has a lot on his mind because next week is the next basketball game that Winfield Senior High School will have. So he's getting in his right mental headspace to get ready for that. And I'm getting ready because, I'm going to have to bail him out of official jail. Anyway. So, Mr. Arthur.
Yes.
The past couple of weeks when I've been finding bands and things that I wanted to quiz you on, I've been going through Apple Music will make a favorite playlist every week. And it'll take some of my either most listened to stuff, or it'll have things that I should like, or anyway, it's geared for me. And so I went through and I found a band that I'm not sure if you've heard of them, but you've definitely heard a song or two of them because they've had a couple of hits that were just, really, really, really big kind of thing. And we're talking about OneRepublic. Have you ever heard of them?
Oh, yeah.
You have?
Yeah.
Look at you. So, OneRepublic, as you kind of know, is an American pop rock band. It was formed in 2002.
Mm-hmm.
It consists of a lead vocalist and multi-instrumentalist. I wish somebody could call me a multi-instrumentalist, but anyway. Ryan Tedder is really big in the music production side and songwriting. They have several other band members, but they formed in a Rocky Mountain city. I want you to name the city. The hint is this city has served as the headquarters of the North American Aerospace Defense Command, or NORAD, since its formation in 1981.
They said a Rocky Mountain city?
Rocky Mountain City. Are you familiar with the NORAD?
Not a clue, no. It's Denver?
It's not Denver. I was about to give you a second hint. It's also known for the Air Force?
The Air Force Academy?
I think the Air Force Academy is there. Because NORAD is a branch off of the Air Force.
I only know 2 towns in Colorado, or 2 cities in Colorado.
Uh-huh.
Well, I probably know more than that, but anyway, the other one's Colorado Springs.
And that is the answer.
Yeah.
You know one more at Boulder, but...
Oh, yeah, Boulder. I forget about them. They don't exist.
Well, if you name your city after a rock, I mean... and not even a special rock, just a noun, you know?
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyway.
Yeah, it is in Colorado Springs.
Okay. I was thinking it was, and I normally give you hints like there's this university here, and so I was trying to, but a lot of our weather data comes from NORAD.
Yeah.
Protecting the skies. Anyway, back to OneRepublic. They released their first single, Apologize, on which social media platform? Hint, this platform was founded in 2003 and somehow still manages to be active, even though it's on no one's top friends list.
Oh, Lord. 2003?
2003.
Was it MySpace?
It is MySpace. MySpace is somehow still an active website, Mr. Arthur.
I had no idea.
It is 17 years strong this year. But, you know, I didn't even know this. There was an Apple app for it for iPhone, and there was a Google Play app for Android.
Mm-hmm.
But those are now defunct. They do not exist any longer.
Really?
Yeah. So you can't download it. So don't get excited, Mr. Arthur, that MySpace is back. You can't go get the app.
Yeah. Well, never had that. So.
Well, I am older than you, and so I did have a MySpace.
Mm-hmm.
And I could tell that you didn't have a MySpace because the best part of the hint was it's on no one's top friends list.
Mm-hmm.
Because on MySpace, Mr. Arthur, you ranked your friends, and and everybody saw that, and it was very awkward.
Yeah, that is awkward.
You know, kids today have snap streaks, but back then you had to justify why Stephanie was above Tiffany in your top friends.
I don't know if you remember on Snapchat when it first came out.
Mm-hmm.
You could see people's top friends.
Yes, I do remember that.
Okay. I'm glad they took it away.
Yeah, that's a conversation no one needs to have.
No.
But anyway, moving on. Back to OneRepublic. They have experienced great success here in the United States, but they've also achieved great success abroad. Their first album went 4 times platinum in Australia. This created a huge fan base there, so much that they were chosen to play at the NRL Grand Finals in 2019. What is the NRL?
The NRL.
NRL, yes.
NRL. This is in Australia.
It's in Australia.
NRL. Something national, something league.
Yep.
Ooh.
Australia.
Yeah, I'm thinking. Is it rugby?
It is rugby. And Mr. Arthur, I don't know if you watched that game, but man,
I have no idea.
The match was won by the Roosters, 14-8, in a tight contest to claim their 15th premiership title. Wow.
Well, here's the deal. I don't know anything about rugby. I don't know anything really about Australia, other than there's one city there, and so they're either the Sydney Roosters or the rest of Australia Roosters, right?
You make me so mad, Mr. Arthur. It is the Sydney Roosters. But you know what? They were playing the Canberra Raiders, and the Canberra Raiders were a scrappy bunch of guys, and they thought they could do it.
There is Brisbane. That's the only other town I know.
Having defeated Melbourne in the 2018 Grand Final, the Roosters aim to become the first team since the Brisbane Broncos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I knew about the Brisbane Broncos. I didn't know that was rugby.
How did you know about the Brisbane Broncos?
I'm going to tell you. When I was in school, we had a district rival that was Simpson Broncos.
Yes.
And their colors were maroon and gold. So is Brisbane. And so they used to use their logo.
Okay, well, a couple things, Mr. Arthur. What a life you've lived.
Yep.
Second off, I'm looking at the Brisbane Bronco, and that's about the ugliest thing I've ever seen.
But it is. It's like ULM colors.
It's definitely ULM colors.
Yeah.
And it's too muscled up. Like, whatever.
Is it the full body one or just the head?
It's just the head, and it looks like a knight, like in chess.
Mm-hmm.
Not a fan. Not a fan. But hopefully, let me see. Hopefully the Canberra Raiders can come back and take it all next year or something.
I'm all in for the Roosters. I'm ordering a jersey.
I feel like the Sydney Roosters are like the Yankees of the NRL. So, Mr. Arthur, do you have anything else to add?
I don't think so.
I think
it's been a pretty good.
What?
It's been a pretty good one.
It's been a pretty good one, and I think if anybody is still listening to this after I just said that the Canberra Raiders should come back and win the NRL next year, if anybody's still listening, one, bless you. Two, I think that's a great place to wrap it up.
I agree wholeheartedly.
So things that we need to focus on is go Big Red, and that's about it because it's homecoming, Mr. Arthur.
That's right.
So I think that'll do it. I am Mr. Ryan Riley. That is Mr. Peyton Arthur. And
oh
yeah. And we hope to hear from you soon. So guys, do your work, reply to your emails, and above all, go Big Red.
Go Big Red.